So we are seeing about employee management system, right? And we have seen up to now the list operation. We have seen the list operation and we have seen how to add the employee, right? And today we'll be moving to the next part, that is update operation. Before that, let me run this project and show you the results up to here. Run as Spring Boot app. We are in this employee management front end. Let me open the project in Visual Studio Code initially. Code dot build the project using ng serve. Now what we need to do, we need to open browser and go with the URL http://localhost 4200. So which is going to show the list of employees for us. And we have done with this add employee. So here it's creating add employee. So some problem is occurring. I did not find to rectify this issue. So I'll look into this in the next classes. So for now the application is working. Application working is no issues. So why it is displaying like this? I did not find time to rectify this. Now, so we are having this employee list. Now, today what we want to do is we want to go with this operation like update. So here we want to go with what? Update operation. So when you click on update, it should ask for these details, and whichever the value you want to update, like name or designation or salary, we should be able to do the changes for that particular record. So that is the action what we want to perform, and this is the model what we want to perform in today's class, that is update employee. So in order to update employee, what is our first step? We need to go to our Spring Boot and create the REST API. So let me stop this service. And in this employee controller, first of all, let us create one method. If I give employee ID, it should return that particular employee object. So for that, go here with public response entity employee. So we'll go with the method get employee by ID. Get employee by ID. So here we are going to provide the employee ID. So what is the employee ID we give? That employee object it should return. So how it's going to return? See here, employee equal to employee repository dot find by ID provide your employee ID. So what is the employee ID we give? That it is going to return to us. Okay, employee repository find by ID. Now how to enter here this object we need to return. So how to return here? Return response entity dot OK, and to this pass your employee object. Now, how to enter into this method? We use this annotation at the rate get mapping, and here the path is like employees, and we are going to provide employee ID as the path variable. So this is our path variable. How to take this value of this path variable? What annotation we have to use? At the rate path variable. So by using this at the rate path variable annotation, we can able to whatever the employee ID we provide here, based on that it's going to return the record back to us. Now it's giving error. let me do one more thing. Like if the object is not found, let us go to this employee repository. Employee we have taken. Let us do one thing, like if it is not present, or else throw, if it is not present. So we are going to throw an exception here. If it is not present, we will throw an exception, that is new employee not found exception. So we'll say employee not found. We'll go with the message employee not found. Okay, correct. Or else throw parenthesis arrow mark new employee not found exception employee not found. Now let us create this employee not found. So for this, let us create one package. Under this employee management, let us create one package exception. In this exception, let us create this class employee not found exception. In this exception package, create a new class employee not found exception. How to create user defined exceptions? Just to make this class extends, you can even go with this runtime exception. And here we'll write, go with a constructor employee not found exception, which takes string message as argument. This we give to the superclass constructor. This we are going to give out to the superclass constructor. Is any question, Aravindo?
No, Raj, no, Raj.
Okay. So we are just creating our own user-defined exception. What is that? Employee not found exception. And provide the here response status as value, HTTP status as not found. HTTP status as not found. So here in this employee controller, what we are doing? We are getting this get employee by ID. Whatever the employee ID we provide, we are getting the record by using this employee ID. Employee repository find by ID, employee ID. If it is not present, or else throw. If it is not present, or else throw. What exception we are throwing? Employee not found exception, and we'll provide the message employee not found. Import the package for this. That's it. Okay. So if it is present, then that employee object will be written. If it is not present, what it is going to go with the message employee not found. It's going to provide a message employee not found. Then return this employee entity.ok employee object. Now check it here whether it is working or not. Run the project. Run as Spring Boot app. How to verify? By using Postman. Open Postman tool. Here the method call is get. Provide the employee ID. If I provide employee ID as 1, see here it's going to return the record of employee ID 1. If we say something like 3, it's going to provide the employee ID of details 3. If you provide something like 9, it says not found. It's going to go with what message? Not found, right? No. So this API is working. What is the use of this API? This one, get employee by ID. Only this part we have created up to now. Whatever the employee ID we provide, by using this find by ID method, we are returning that employee object here. Now, let us move to the next important one, that is update employee. So we'll go with the method public response entity employee. We'll go with the method name update employee, which takes employee ID, and employee details and employee object, a new employee object as the arguments. So first step is what here? First of all, we have to get the record based on your employee ID, else throw the exception. So based on your employee ID, get the record here. Employee equal to employee repository dot find by ID, provide your employee ID. If it is present, it's going to return that object, else it's going to throw the exception. So once you get this object, now for this employee details, this is our new object. This new object details should be assigned to this employee object. So how to do that one? Let's select this employee dot set employee name with employee details dot get employee name. See what you are doing? This is our new updated object. So using this new updated object, you are calling which method? Get employee name. That we are setting to this object what we got from the database based on your ID. Similar way, employee dot set employee designation, employee details dot get designation. Employee dot set employee salary, employee details dot get employee salary. So to this employee object what we got from our table, for that we are updating with this new object employee details. Then once we do this setting by using this employee repository, call the method save and password employee object. That's it. Then say finally return response entity dot okay your employee object. So the whatever the object we have updated, that we are going to return. Then how to enter into this method? Its update operation means what annotation we have to use? Put mapping. And what is our path? Employees. And what we have to provide here? Your employee ID. We have to provide employee ID. So whatever the employee ID we provide like path variable, how to take that value? Using which annotation? Path variable, and this one we are going to get it as request body. We are going to get it as what? Request body. That's it. So this completes our update employee. Clear this API, all of you, how to go with this update employee?
Search.
Right? Now, so this is our backend work. Now let us go with the front end part. And let us do this process now. Now, here, what we need to do is in the front end part, we are having this employee service. Create employee is completed now. In this employee service, what we are going to do? We are going to create a method update employee, which takes employee ID number, then next one employee object, then observable employee. Here what we have to do? Return http client.put. Update means we have to use put method, take care employee, and we have to call our base URL. How to do that? Symbol $curly braces base URL, this dot base URL, then password employee ID. $employee ID. Then to this, even we have to pass employee object. So here, first we are invoking our base URL. Then to that, what you are giving our employee ID and the new employee object data. The new employee object data, what we got. So this details we are passing to our REST API. And the method call is for put. So this is our update employee service. Once we create this service, now we need to invoke this service. So in order to invoke this service, our next step is we need to create a new component called as update employee component. We have to create what? A new component called as what? Update employee component. So the next important step is create update employee component, ng generate component, update employee component. The component got created. Now open the files, update employee component. This is our HTML file and this is our TS file. Now here, take the same form what we have created yesterday. Add and create employee component.html. Take the same form. Copy this. Come to this update employee.html. Paste the same form and here just a simple change update employee. That's it. Simple change it what here? Update employee. And at the end also say here update employee. Simple change. Same form here. So we are going with the same form. So where we are going to accept employee name, designation and salary. And finally when update employee. So when you click on this button, it's going to invoke which function? On submit function. It's going to invoke on submit function. Now, the next step, go to this update employee.ts, update employee component. In this class, this is important one. Make this class implements on init, override the method. Now, in this class, go with the property employee ID, it's of type number, initial value is 0. Then we create object of employee. We're creating object of employee. Import here. Now, the next step what you do is go with a constructor. This constructor we are going to take the arguments like provide employee service, it's of type employee service, then comma provide route, it's of type activated route, this one activated route, then say comma next one provide router, it's of type router. Right. So we are taking these arguments to the constructor. What arguments we are taking? One is employee service and one more is route, activated route, and one more route, it's of type router. Then, what is the purpose of everything? We'll discuss. Then the next step in this ng on init method, what you do is here this dot employee ID equal to this dot route dot snapshot dot params. These are all predefined only, dot params, and compulsory we have to say a single quote ID. I'll explain what is the use of this. I'll explain what is the use of this when we run the application. So this is going to give the employee IDs here. Here we are going to click now. So whichever the update we are clicking, for that it is for this record, for this employee it's going to give an ID. For this record it's going to give an ID. To get this ID for this particular record where you are clicking on update button now, that is a use of this. This dot route dot snapshot params, that is the use of going with this route here. Okay, so we are taking that parameter. So this one should be compulsory ID only, not EMP ID. So it's going to give the ID for that particular record where you are clicking. That I'm storing into this employee ID. Then the next step you write this dot employee service, this dot employee service dot so in service we need to create one more method also, that is employee by ID. Get employee by ID we need to create. So because first of all we have to get the employee based on your ID. Get employee by ID. Employee ID it's of type number, observable, employee. Here we'll say return this dot http client dot get employee. Then here we are going to invoke the service dollar this dot base URL, this dot base URL slash dollar employee ID. So what this method is going to do, it's going to return the object, the employee object based on your employee ID. Now, so that only we are going to invoke here. So this dot employee service dot get employee by ID. What you are doing, see, you are getting, see, whatever the ID we got, whatever the ID we got. So what you are doing, you are by using employee service, which method you are calling? Which method you are calling? Get employee by ID. To this, we are passing our employee ID. So here, dot subscribe. Then whatever the data we get, that we are storing into this dot employee equal to data. So whatever the data we get from form, that data we are storing into this employee object. So based on your employee object, whatever the data we are filling in the form, this form data will come and store into this employee object. Right? Now, the next step, create a method on submit. On submit, here we'll write this dot employee service, only update operation is lengthy one. This dot employee service dot update employee, and we'll say this dot emp id comma this dot employee. We are calling actual method of your service. So in this service class, we are having this update employee now. This method we are invoking now. So this dot employee service dot update employee. For that, what you are passing your employee ID and your employee object. Then say dot subscribe. Then. So what is the data we get? This data will write this dot employee equal to data, and once the data is updated, we need to show the employee list, that is updated employee list. For that, we'll invoke the method go to employee list. Go to employee list. Now create a method. Create a method here. Go to employee list. In this method, what we do, this dot, yesterday also we discussed on this dot router dot navigate, and here we have to provide the path. In the square brackets here, /employees. Whenever we call this on submit method, I'm going to repeat all the words, whatever I discussed up to now. See here, what we have done, we have created this employee service. In this employee service, first we are creating this get employee by ID. Whatever the employee ID we give, by using this HTTP client, we are invoking get method and we are passing our base URL. And whatever the employee ID we give, that object will be returned to us. Then when we invoke this update employee, whatever the employee ID, whatever the employee object we give, based on that, it's going to do the update operation. We are invoking the put method and invoking our base URL. To that, you are passing our employee ID and employee object. Then the next step, what we have done, we have created an HTML form. In this HTML form, we are accepting this employee name, designation, and salary. And when you click on this update employee, it goes to which function? On submit function. Once it goes to this on submit function, once it enters into this component, first this initialization is going to happen. In this initialization, what it is going to do, whatever the record you clicked here. So whatever the record you clicked here, that particular ID we want to take out. So how to take that? By using this concept called as this dot employee ID equal to this dot route dot snapshot dot params ID. So for whichever the record you clicked, that employee details will come and store into this employee ID. Now, by using employee service, call the method get employee by ID. To that you pass your employee ID. Then once you call this method, it's going to return the record based on your employee ID. Then once we get this details, now what we do, it will come to this on submit method. Then by using service, we are calling update employee. To that you are passing your employee ID and the new employee object. So whatever the employee object we are giving, the data what you are getting, that is coming and storing into this employee. And so that updated details will come and store into this employee, and we are invoking this go to employee list. In this go to employee list, what you are doing, you are navigating to the route employees. So goes to this routing. Goes to this routing. Where is that routing? This one. So based on the path, your list employee component will get loaded. Clear up here the steps what we have done. Compulsory you have to practice this. Just listening to the class will not work out. Then our next step is in this list employee component .ts file, list employee.component .ts file. Here you go with one more element, private router. It's of type router. Then now in this, you create one method called as update employee, which is taking our employee ID as argument. Here we'll write this dot route dot navigate. So here we are going to navigate to the path update employee. I'm navigating to the path update employee. To this will pass our employee ID. I'll explain this part. Okay. Then I'll come back to this and explain to you again. Now the next important step is we need to create this button, right? We have to go with the action and we need to create this button. So the way to create this in list employee component.html file. List employee.component.html file. We need to go with what? A heading called as action. Here we will create one table heading, action. Then Here we create one more TD, and here we are going to create a button click. We are going to invoke a function update employee. To this we'll pass our employee ID as the argument. Then we'll say class equal to, it's a button success. So when you use this bootstrap button success, it will be in green color, and we'll go with the action here update. That's it. Now understand carefully. So what we have done, we have created a heading called as action. In that we are creating one button. So here we are going with one more TD. We are creating a button, and what is the name on the button? Update. So when you click on this button, which method it's going to invoke? Update employee. So to this update employee, what you are passing? Your employee ID. Okay, you are passing employee ID. So goes to this TypeScript file, and this method will get invoked. So in this method, what you are doing? You are saying this dot router dot navigate update employee, means we are giving the path here. So which path you are redirecting? Update employee. So what is our next step now? Go to this app routing, create one more new path. What is the path name? Update employee. And which component it has to load? Update employee component it has to load. That's it. This completes our application. Now build the project. I'll explain one more time. Build the project in this set. Let us see whether we get some issues. First of all, here we are getting the action update. Now if you select this update, it's not working. Angular expected th but found tr. I got the mistake. What we are getting? tr is missing. It is running in development mode. Here now we are getting see properly add employee, because in the last class we have done this mistake. So here this tr was missing. That was the problem. Okay, so let us check whether add employee. It's coming. No issues. Only this was the problem in the last class. That's the reason it's showing the records again. Now coming to this update. So in this one action td button click, update employee function we are invoking, and to this you are passing your employee id. This is okay. Then coming to this update employee function, this dot navigate. Simple spelling mistakes also. This the update employee. Okay. This one here we have to provide the employee ID, right? So it's unable to take this employee ID. So let's say /:ID. This is important. So what are the ID we have taken? No, that ID we are getting, let's see. This one. Param's ID, this one. Let us reload. Now let us click on update. See, now it's coming here. So now it's going with the name designation. Let us make it as senior HR, and salary. Let us make it as 80,000. Now click on this update employee.
It's a cross policy issue, right? Maybe it's a test service issue. I think so. Service is
Yeah, service issue a bit.
might yeah.
So it's not encountering any issues. It's not taking this request here. Let us check here. Response entity update employee. Let's put mapping only, right? Employees /employee ID. Then response entity update employee. It's okay. Small mistakes only we do. Employee service, get employee by ID, employee number, observable employee, return this .http client.get employee, dollar this base URL, dollar employee ID. Maximum cases I'll do this mistake. Here no mistake. Update employee. method employee.
Maybe we are updating the 2 employees at a time, right?
So 2 employees, no, right? We clicked on only one.
Uh-huh.
Snapshot.params ID. This is simple form. Correct only. Let me stop it. It's unable to access this application at all. It's not going to the server. Okay, so I'll check out what is the problem. Okay, so we'll rectify this error before we join tomorrow's class. And then tomorrow we go with the next operation, this one, delete operation. So tomorrow we are going to complete this delete operation, and with that we complete our project. Okay, so I'll check out what is the issue with this, and even I'll explain what mistake I've done also. Okay, let me share the source codes. Similar way, go to this front end part. Okay, so please check the codes and practice this. And tomorrow we'll see what is the problem, why the update operation is not happening. That also we'll discuss, and even we'll go with the delete operation tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much.